All right, all right. Welcome to Clear Vision Wednesday. I think we are live. I'm Claudia Mühlenweg. I'm the creator of the Natural Clear Vision Method and the founder of the Natural Clear Vision Institute. And today's episode is a little different than my usual episodes, where either I just teach you something or I have guest experts coming on. Today, we're going to look at, this is what I've heard over the last, since I've been doing this for a long time, but the 10 most common reasons when I tell somebody they can improve their vision. And my coach, I'm going to bring her on stage, Trisha Kirby, she's going to play kind of devil's advocate. She's going to play that person that we just met. And I'm telling her what I do, and then she's going to start. And so it's not her, what she's saying. It's not her. She's just role playing a typical character that I would meet, let's say at a conference or in the grocery store or wherever. And I would tell her what we do. And then, all right, Trisha, are you game to play that person? Okay, awesome. I'm super excited for this. This is going to be fun. All right. So Trisha, I'm just going to do that whole conversation. So I just told you, yes, notice you wear glasses. And I just told you that you can get out of these glasses, that you can naturally improve your vision. How cool is that? What do you think?
Really? I vaguely heard about something called, is this eye exercises? Because I don't know if I have time for like doing a ton of different eye exercises. I'm already really busy in my life. Is that what you do? Like you teach people how to do eye exercises?
Great question. So it's not eye exercises. That's probably the biggest misconception ever. And the good news is it doesn't take much time. Let me ask you this. How much time would you devote to your eyes? I mean, how much you probably hate your glasses, being dependent on glasses. Let's say, tell me how much time you would have per day to do something.
Uh, if I was gonna try to squeeze it in, maybe 20 minutes.
Oh, that's a lot of time. That's good. Most of the time I hear like 2 minutes.
Oh my
Well,
God.
the good news is that you can make massive changes because what I teach are little mini techniques. They're not eye exercises. It's more awareness around vision and many of the things you can do while you drive a car, or maybe you're doing your morning meditation or your morning walk. So many of the things you don't actually have to block any extra time. How does
Really?
that sound?
Oh my God. That sounds doable. Like I think I can handle that.
Okay, okay, great. Now, are there any other concerns that you have?
I mean, I can I afford this? Like, I don't think I can afford. First of all, I'm not really good at spending money on myself anyway, and I sometimes have a tendency to over commit myself to other things. Is there a big, I just don't know if I can afford this. I mean, how
Well,
is
I
it?
haven't told you what the investment is to work with me. Here's the good news. I have many, many free resources, and we have the links right down there with
Oh,
that you can download. So that's number one. However, what I found is the free resources are a great way to get started. Just like a book is a great way to get started, or a YouTube video. In the long term, you do need a coach. But my question to you is, can you afford not to do this? In other words, what did your eye doctor say about your prognosis? I mean, are you okay being in, like, how much are you spending on glasses every year? Probably a couple $100.
oh, at least 400 per pair, easily.
See, see? And the good news is you will never, ever have to spend that much amount of money when you work with me. So the investment I have different courses. They start with a very low amount of money that's less than your pair of glasses. And we have some more involved courses. But the good news is you don't need to ever spend $400 on a pair of glasses. So how does that sound? Does that sound better?
Yeah, I'm interested. Okay, wait, I have some questions here. Um, so I'm in my 50s and I've been wearing glasses since I was about a teenager, I think. Got them in junior high school. And when I was at the doctor recently, a few months ago, they said I might have the beginning stages of cataracts. Is there hope for somebody like me?
Great question. So I get this all the time. My answer to this is always what I teach is based on eye anatomy, nervous system regulation, good vision habits, right? And basically, I've not seen anyone with any condition. We had 90-year-olds. We have people with glaucoma, with cataracts. I have not seen anybody not make improvements. Now, I don't know what your eye doctor said about your cataracts. We had people in the early stages. They were gone. We had people even avoid Fuchs dystrophy surgery. However, we can never promise anything when it comes to eye diseases, right? We don't know your habits, but the good news is no matter what, you can make improvements. And we had many, many students that are out of glasses, even though they got them. I got my first pair at age 3. So there's always improvement that you can establish. How much? And that's probably another question you have, is never guaranteed, because I don't know if you follow my guidance, right? I can educate you, I can give you guidance, I can give you things to do, but I don't know if you do them, right? But the good news is yes, because let's think about it. What is the alternative? Getting stronger and stronger and stronger glasses, getting risky cataract surgery?
Yeah. So you're making me think here. I had lunch today with a friend of mine who is a ladies professional golfer. Like, she's a pro golfer. She's from France. She said she has had LASIK surgery and she's having some eye issues. So would this be something that she could use?
Absolutely, because like I said, no matter what I teach is basically based on how our body and our brain works, and we use basically neuroscience techniques to help stimulate the brain. We see in the brain, and so yes, LASIK is basically cut into the cornea, and so the cornea is kind of not like it was, right? But it doesn't mean you can't make changes. So that's good news for your friend. Yes, she can.
Oh, cool. Okay, I'm going to tell her. So last time I was talking with my eye doctor, I asked them about techniques or practices. I asked them if basically, can I improve my vision anyway? And they said, absolutely not. The only thing you can do to support your vision is get more glasses. And you're giving me a completely different view. And why would I believe you over my eye doctor? You sound very sincere, by the way, but I'm just saying.
Oh, that's a great question. And what I say always is, don't believe your eye doctor. Don't believe me. See for yourself. Right. And that's why I often offer free trainings. I offer free downloads, because at the end of the day, I don't want you to feel like I'm trying to convince you of something. I want you to be excited and willing to try this for yourself. Because if you're not interested in trying it, and really making this like an important thing for your life, then you might not see any results. So I would say maybe just see for yourself instead of thinking what your eye doctor tells you. Also, eye doctors are usually, I have many eye doctor friends, so I don't want to say anything bad about eye doctors, but many of them, especially optometrists, also have an vested interest in you buying more glasses and contacts, because at the end of the day, that's their business, right? On the other hand, a lot of times they don't know about vision improvement. They don't necessarily know that this exists, or they don't really understand. They think it's eye exercise, like rolling your eyes. So yeah, I think I would encourage you to try this for yourself, and then believe yourself.
Do you have any kind of guarantee that it would be helpful? So it's not like a waste of time and money?
Well, great question. So I do, in my paid programs, I do give a guarantee. And if you don't see any results, assuming you do the program, right? I mean, if you just buy it and never open it, it's like, yeah, that's different. But if you join the program, you do the practice, and you don't see any results. We had one person in all these years, and there was a nurse working in the COVID yard in May 2020, working 14-hour shifts. Her vision didn't get worse, which is a miracle under those conditions. But we did refund her the money. So I give a satisfaction guarantee. Other than that, it's because I educate you. I don't treat you. I don't cure you. I don't heal you. I educate you, and you implement the things into your life. And so at the end of the day, I cannot give you a guarantee when you don't join my program. If you just do something, I don't know. But does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Okay, so I'm gonna go off script a little bit to say, I've tried vision practices before. I mean, I have spent over the past 20 years or so, and I was kind of pretending a little bit there, but I have tried stacks and stacks of vision programs.
Oh, that's a lot.
And there's more, and there's more. and I have not had results. Why? How are you different from everything that I've tried before that has not given me any help?
So this is also a good question. So like I said, I got started with a book. Many of my clients got started with a book, and nowadays it's more, you know, and I think you had CD and VHS tapes and all those things. It's incredibly, and this is pun intended, to see your own blind spots, because poor vision is always an accumulation of strain and stress that manifests in the eyes, and it's mental, emotional, physical. It could be spiritual too. So it's on all these levels, and the glasses kind of lock you into that state. So when I first learned this, I had no idea how stressed I was, how tense I was, how much effort I made to see. So when you do these self-study, like, you don't really know that you're not relaxed. You're just doing them more like a mechanic technique, right? Versus there's a technique called the swing, for instance. And if you just do it like you go to the gym and you exercise, it's not relaxing. And that's why I needed a coach too. I needed a coach, and literally everybody needs somebody to help them discover, like, what is your strain? Where are you making effort? Noticing those things. So it's incredibly hard. If you tell me you work with other practitioners already, then sometimes I would say, sometimes you need to hear it in a different voice. Sometimes you need to hear it over and over and over again. Sometimes you just connect with somebody better than another teacher. So I would never say, in fact, I have many colleagues that I'm really good friends with, and many of my clients end up working with them, and many of their clients come to me. So I think it's actually good to study with different teachers, because probably everybody adds a little extra piece of information or some kind of aha to your learning.
Yeah. Okay, that's really cool. I mean, I've been wearing glasses, like I said, since I was a teenager. Not to be picky, but how long does it take to get results? Like how fast can I see results, and how much can I improve in, 6 months or a year? What's my hope?
Okay, that's a question I get a lot too. And I know, like, we always want that answer, right? We want, like, lose 7 pounds in 7 days. And it would be absolutely frivolous and actually illegal for me to tell you you do this too. I don't know anything about you. I don't know what your condition is. Some people see incredible results in 5 days. I do these 5-day trainings that are free, usually once a year, sometimes twice a year. So we see people improving their vision in just 5 days. I have a 21-day program where people are, like, so excited. Some people are out of glasses in 21 days, but maybe it depends, right? It depends on your scenario. I don't know how strong your nearsightedness is. And again, it also depends on your own mindset. Here's an example. This was a person, she was not my client, but she worked with another teacher, and she had this 4-hour, what we call clear flash. She was nearsighted, took her glasses off for 4 hours, moved to that place from across the country to this location. And she told me, when I talked to her, I'm doing eye exercise. I'm doing these practices every day for 2 hours. And I said to her, stop everything you're doing, because she was now so tense. She had all these expectations, the eyes we see in the brain. It's a sensory organ. It's different than your biceps, right? If you work your muscles every day, if you work out, which we all should be doing, you will build more strength, you will build more power, you will, all those things. With vision, it's not more is better at all. It's really noticing how things affect you in a way, and also then cleaning up your diet potentially, or, maybe changing your job. We had people change their job because they were under so much stress. So it's hard for me to say this, and I know it's the answer you don't want to hear, but I don't know. It could be a couple of weeks, could be a couple of months, could be a couple of years.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I've heard that it's better. I've heard that glasses are like crutches for the eyes, and it's better that you don't wear them. But totally honest, when I look out into the world and, like, everything is blurry, first of all, I feel really uncomfortable and unsafe. And I don't know, how, if I can't see without glasses, how am I supposed to drive, or how am I supposed to use the computer, or how am I supposed to make the improvements? Well, I feel like I need the glasses. Like, it's almost an addiction to wearing glasses.
I totally get it. So in my big program, my natural vision program, I give you an eye chart. I literally give you one of these printable Snellen eye charts, and we teach you how to read prescriptions to actually understand what those numbers mean. Because we know a lot of times, and you said you were nearsighted, a lot of times I meet people that are like, I don't know if I'm near or farsighted, and I think I have this stigmatism thing. So number one is education. It's really important to me to educate you to like, what does it mean sphere, cylinder, axis? What does it mean add, maybe prism? So first of all, you know exactly where you're at. If you have bifocals or progressives, you have different strengths for different distances. We break all that down. And then I teach you to measure your own vision on a chart, and I teach you how you can step down your glasses, because that's different for everybody. Some people have to make very small, and we need to assume that you have 20/20 vision with your glasses from your eye doctor, because maybe your glasses from your eye doctor only give you 20/40 or 20/50 vision. In that case, you need to wear them for driving. Really important. You have to be safe, right? And then you can step down maybe on the computer. Maybe you said you're nearsighted. Maybe you can read without glasses. So do anything you can without glasses that is safe to do without glasses. And then for other things, maybe step down just a little bit, step by step. And if you are listening to this and you're not like Trisha, maybe your friend that you talked about that you had lunch with, maybe she was farsighted. So there's also, we have dollar store glasses. We can use those cheaters or readers to also help us, in the near point. So we do want you to see your eye doctor. Really important for your eye health. I always say that it's very important not to skip your eye doctor visits, to make sure your eyes are healthy, because oftentimes the diseases are diagnosed in the eyes first. So that's really important. But don't necessarily get that prescription, right? So if you want to step down and really understand, what is a progressive or multifocal? What is a bifocal? What does it mean when they say, I can't use single distance? Really understanding this process. And that's what I teach in Natural Clear Vision, because I want you to really feel empowered. And then also ask your eye doctor the right questions, right? That's also important. Maybe you can ask more informed questions.
So I have a question. I feel like when I'm at the eye doctor and thank you for answering that. I feel like they do that. Is this one clear? Is this one clear? Is this one clear? Is this one clear? And you kind of do this game back and forth with the lenses. And then when I walk out of the eye doctor's office, everything is hyper clear. Like it's so sharp and so clear. And I feel like I'm overcorrected when I leave the office. But then I feel like then my vision seems to deteriorate because it kind of gets used to the clear vision. And then it sort of reverts back again. But I feel like is that not good?
Exactly. That is not good. And I talk about that a lot in my master classes that I teach also a couple of times a year. So what happens is, this is a foundational thing that you might have noticed. Most people say yes. There's always a couple of people that say no. Let me know if that's true. Have you noticed that your vision is a little bit different? Like when you're more relaxed or happy, you see a little bit clearer. And when you're really stressed, right? Right. Exactly. So most people notice that maybe, on the computer, vision gets more blurry or whatever the situation is. So now I ask you this, have you ever found an eye exam relaxing?
No.
So what happens is, and I know vision really well, but when I see an ophthalmologist, I get my eye exam, it's stressful, especially like you said, I don't get correction for glasses, but I remember when I used to, and they do this, like this one or this one, and you're like, oh my God, if I do this, if I say this wrong, I'm going to get the wrong glasses. This is like so scary. And then can you do it again? Yep. And you don't know. And at some point you say, okay, that one. Now you are in a very stressed situation in this moment, right? There's so-called autorefractor machines. They put you in those machines first where they kind of roughly measure you. And then they do this fine tuning in. My guess is that you were so stressed. Maybe you weren't breathing. Maybe you were like staring. This is a common habit when we are at the eye doctor, we stare. Our vision literally gets blurry in front of our eyes. And so this is why my message, trust your gut. If you put these on and you're like, oh my God, like you just said, they feel so strong, maybe they give me headaches, then do not say when the eye doctor says you will get used to them, this is not right. They're too strong, because you will make your vision worse. We now know from animal experiments that the eyes will adjust to the lenses. So say, no, that's too strong. And again, it's probably not that your eye doctor measured you wrong. It's more that you were really stressed and that your vision showed up literally like it's worst possible state. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. And that's kind of, that's concerning because I feel like I'm making my vision worse by wearing these too strong glasses. Um, so when I was at Costco not too long ago, I specifically was asking the eye doctor there if they would give me weaker glasses. And they said, no, we give you what we measure you for. So how am I supposed to, even if I follow your program, how am I supposed to get weaker glasses?
Well, like I said earlier, I teach you how to do this. You're completely responsible for this. We
cool.
always base it off your prescription, but you also measure and you can then make decisions. So there's now many websites where you can order glasses, but you have to always confer with your eye doctor if you're not sure. You need to make sure, you need to make sure that you are safe, especially again when driving. And when it comes to computer work, I don't want anybody running around with blurry vision. That's not really going to help you, right? So you need to have, I say you always need to have just enough clarity. So when you're on the computer, most people don't know that diopters, which is the strength of your glasses or contacts, is measured for a specific distance. So when you sit at the computer, that's about 2 feet, 60 centimeters. You need something else, no matter if you're far or nearsighted. You need a different number than you would need for reading something at 40 centimeters, 16 inches, or looking far away, when you're driving. So you need different levels. And whatever you need for just that distance, like basically whatever, when you start the day, you're relaxed, everything is clear. Now, if your vision gets blurry, suddenly you're on the computer for an hour and a half, whatever, your vision gets blurry. I call that like the engine light coming on. So it's like, oh, my vision was clear earlier. Like, am I straining? Am I making too much of an effort? Am I getting a really bad email? Do I need to step away from the computer, right? So we want that feedback, the engine light. You wouldn't ignore that on a car because that will tell you, maybe I need to go outside. Maybe I need to rest my eyes, whatever it is, right? But you get some information from your body and your brain that you overdid it, that you did too much or what, and you learn over time, you get more and more, you realize what habits cause that strain and cause that blur, right? But if you're in these overly strong glasses, you can be staring, you can be holding your breath, you could be super tense, and you would still have clear vision. And that's why your vision keeps going downhill because you don't get feedback. So is that helpful?
Yeah, that makes sense. So you're saying that when I'm driving and I have clear vision with my driving glasses, and then I get home and I get on the laptop or the computer and I'm using my driving glasses on the computer, that's not a good idea?
That's not a good idea. So when you're nearsighted and without going into all the nitty-gritty, but when you're nearsighted, you need more support, more strength in your glasses for distance, right? You can't see the distance. Right. But depending on your level, if you're -1.5 or -175, you can be at the computer without glasses. If you're like a -2 or more, then you might need it just a little bit, but you don't need the same strength that you need for driving. And somebody farsighted opposite, they might need the strongest glasses for reading, a little bit less for computer, and then maybe nothing for driving, or maybe just a little bit. So it's very important. You're absolutely right. Everybody that is nearsighted should not use their distance glasses, especially if you spend all day on screens, right? If you're just going quickly, do something quick and then send a message and you're done. But if you're not sitting in front of a computer all day, you definitely don't want to wear your distance glasses, 100%.
Okay, that's a new one. I didn't know that. Taking my glasses off. Okay, so true story, I was bullied as a child. And when I first got assigned to glasses, in other words, they sent me to the eye doctor and realized that I needed corrective lenses. I didn't want glasses. And so I got into contact lenses. And that is literally all I wore for about 5 or 6 years, including traveling, Eurailing across Europe and everything. And I was always like dealing with the little contact lenses. Is there hope for me? Like, how do I do? I can't get, you said you could order, you said I can learn how to read my own prescription and I can learn and I'll still see the eye doctor, but I can learn how to order my own glasses. But then how do I can you do contact lenses?
So that's also a great question. So contacts are a bit more tricky. I think in the UK, you can order them without an eye doctor prescription, nowhere else, because they're considered a medical device. So in this case, if you can't get them, I would talk to my eye doctor. And you're an example, right? You told me you work all day on the computer. So you could always ask to get contacts just for the computer for that distance. And what you basically do, you use them in the house, you use them for everything. And when you're driving, whatever difference between the strength is for your contacts and for driving, you just get some really inexpensive, whatever that difference is, maybe -1, maybe -1.5, whatever it is for you. You can just put those glasses on top and then you have clarity for driving, but you don't run around overcorrected for everything else.
Okay, that makes sense. Huh. So it sounds like if I do your program and I make progress and my vision improves and it's changing all the time, like how many pairs of glasses will I need to get and how much is that going to cost? Because honestly, those glasses I got with the thin lenses and the little designer frames literally were like $400. My mom's glasses were $500, $600, $700, $800 because they were progressives.
Well, this is also a great question. So there's websites like Zenly Optical or other websites where you can order glasses without an eye doctor prescription. And if you're like a -3 or less, you can get the low index ones. They start at $6.99, very inexpensive. I have clients that have like
$1.99 or $600?
Yeah, $6.99, like $7, $7, $10 or less. I had a client with a -12 and she was able to reduce to -9.5. And those were about $60 or $70. So when you get into the higher prescription numbers, but they're always going to be way less than those overpriced glasses that you get from the eye doctor. And it's not the eye doctor's fault. It's really the whole glasses. There's only a couple of companies in the world that produce glasses frames. And they just, there was an article in the Los Angeles Times actually recently where they said it's about 1,000% inflated. So Costco is definitely better. You mentioned Costco. However, even there, the frames are really way overpriced. And that's why these online stores, are popular. But you definitely need to know what you order. If you have a complicated, you don't have that. But if you have a complicated condition, you have prisms, like you need to make sure you really understand your vision, you measure it, you have your prescription, you consult with your eye doctor. You don't want to just randomly order stuff online, especially if you're driving a car, okay? This is very important. But yes, you can 100%, and you don't have to reduce all the time. I mean, I had a client who worked with me at the last tidbit of her vision improvement journey, she took 15 years to go from -6 when we worked together, and she only wore contacts, and we worked, and her eye doctor, I think, helped her. I don't remember the background exactly, but she stepped down a quarter diopter at a time. That was her way of doing it. That worked for her. And basically, that was back to 2020. Then she did another quarter diopter. And when I met her, she was at -1.25, and now she's completely glasses free. But she didn't, like, everybody is different, right? We have to be patient with our bodies and our systems. Some people can do it faster, some people do it slower, but we need to appreciate our body and our brain doing this, and we also need to create the space. And we need to have the commitment. This has to be important for us. And that's why I said the reasons, jokingly, and we're not even done, almost done, but they're not really reasons. They're usually excuses because we haven't prioritized our vision. And maybe I encourage everybody, and Trisha, you're doing a great job. I encourage everybody to not wait till it gets really bad and then asking, can I improve my vision in 2 weeks, right? So, but we have a couple more things. So the last thing, what is the last question where we brainstormed what I hear in terms of like excuses, let's call it that.
So when I'm in your program and I'm learning these practices and I'm learning what I need to do to improve my vision, is it like, do I have to keep doing these practices every day for the rest of my life? Like, I don't know if I have time for that. How does that work?
Okay, great question. So here's the thing. It's like, I don't do any of the eye practices. Now, when I go through really stressful periods in my life, which happens to everybody, right? I'm not immune from those. I might notice that my vision gets a little blurry. So I might do some of them. I might get more sunlight. I might do more rest. I might do my myofascial release on the balls because I notice I'm tense. My jaw is tight. I might do some palming. I'm doing it usually when I'm meditating. So I'm, but yes, it doesn't mean no to your question. You don't have to do this every day for the rest of your life. But think of that like we brush our teeth every morning, every evening, 2 minutes. Most of us will floss. Maybe we do it after lunch. I usually brush my teeth after lunch and I floss, right? We as women, we do our makeup routine. We take our makeup off. Maybe we go to the gym, we exercise. So many of the things that I teach, I said this earlier, you can incorporate into your daily life. You don't have to reserve any extra time. I still want to encourage you to think about how important is your vision to you? And maybe you say every morning for 5 minutes, I'm doing a check-in, I'm noticing things. And maybe some days you need something, and other days you might be a month where you're good, you're great. But really what I want you to think about is changing your habits. So it's like, I give this example too. If you want to change your diet, right? You like, now you need to learn how to replace certain bad foods with a healthier version, for instance. You need to read how to learn ingredient labels, right? Eventually, you need to study recipes. Eventually, all this will become automatic. You know what products work for you. You know what things are clean. You don't, sometimes once in a while you read a label, but usually you can do the recipes. You don't need to invest as much time at all, right? It's kind of becoming a lifestyle, a habit, right? So, and the last thing I want to say to this, it's like, I don't like to compare to working out because our nervous system is very different than the muscles in our body. But we never think we're going to just do like, a 3 months program, going to the gym every day. And then for the rest of our lives, we can just sit on the couch and watch TV and have great health and strong bodies, right? But I don't like that. It's not a perfect example, but I want you to think of you're changing your habits over time. And there might be periods in your life where you want to come back to the things, but now you have the awareness to even notice when you need to do it and when you're good. Does that make sense? Dr. Bates said, Dr. Bates said 100 years ago, people complain about not having time, right? Think about it, 100 years ago. And he said, well, you can use your eyes well all day long, or you can use them poorly. And once you learn how to use your eyes well all day long, you don't really need the practices in most cases for a long time or for the rest of your life.
Okay, I'm sold. Can you tell me some information about your program? Do you have time to give me a little insight?
Yeah. So like I said, we have different programs. We have some free programs. Everything is listed underneath this video. Usually once, sometimes twice a year, open enrollment in my Natural Clear Vision course. And right now is such a time. We have enrollment open. The link is right beneath this video. So if you are ready to make a commitment, it's a 12-week program. It guides you step by step through all the things we talked about. We have so many, when you click that link, we have so many success stories. It's just every time I hear something and like, it makes me so happy because we have empowerment, we have hope, we have many people out of classes, we have everybody out of expensive classes. Some people were able to avoid surgeries. Not everybody does. And sometimes I really am it's very important that you see your eye doctor. I cannot say that often enough. Now, when you're ready to roll, like the enrollment closes very soon. So if you're ready to say yes to your eyes, I always say yes is in the word eyes, then join us. I give a 6-week, like after the start of the program, I give a 6-week guarantee. If you don't see any results, I will give you your money back because I don't want you to worry that this is not working for you. So I hope you will join me. Trisha is already, obviously she was just role playing. Trisha has done the program 4 years ago, and she's actually mostly out of classes now, right? From minus 475. So yeah, it's like, there's nothing that should hold you back. I'm going to look at YouTube if there's any questions. So, okay, I see Randy, I got concussions in my vision has been progressive. Yeah, so with concussions my program will help you. It's all based on relaxation of eyes, body, mind, of learning how to use the eyes together, of stepping down the prescriptions, getting simple techniques. But in some more advanced cases, you might want to see a neuro-optometrist because you might need additional techniques that we cover, like everything in the Natural Clear Vision program, but some people might need additional help. So with concussions, I always say, see a neurologist or see some doctor to make sure that is addressed, right? I really want you to not just rely on my expertise, but definitely also consult a neuro-optometrist or a neurologist.
Yeah, I agree with that. I want to say too, like I was hit by a drunk driver about 20 something years ago, and I had a concussion. I had a seatbelt on, but I was bending over and I ended up having my head slammed in the dashboard, and it does affect your vision. And this absolutely does help. I have like almost eliminated headaches. and eye fatigue and any of the other, there's so many symptoms that go with head injuries and concussions like that. There's a ton. So, and my heart goes out to you because I know what that feels like. And it is a struggle sometimes, but this definitely helped. It absolutely helped my vision. And I now know I have the tools to adjust anytime any little thing comes along. I know what to do. Any little blur, any little stress, any little strain, I know what to do to fix it, to repair it, to correct it.
Yeah. And Trisha is actually one of my coaches, and she's going to also be one of my first to do my certification program starting this end of this year. Yeah, we have a question about double vision. So in Natural Clear Vision, we have a whole module on fusion, how the eyes work together. Now, double vision, that's always really important to differentiate between diplopia, which is actual double vision. The second you cover one eye, double vision is gone. So if that's the case, again, I would also recommend that you might see a neuro-optometrist. We had many people do that in my program. And because what they don't teach you is relaxation and awareness and all the other things I teach you. So, but you might need both, right? So maybe you need a few sessions. If you say you have double vision, there's a shadow that could be from an astigmatism. Astigmatism, we 100% address in Natural Clear Vision. And so that's different because when you have the astigmatism shadow, if assuming both eyes have astigmatism and maybe one has more than the other, you cover one eye, you still see that double image. There's still that shadow. And maybe let's say my left eye has very little, maybe there's no shadow with the left eye. I'm just making an example here. And with the right eye, let's say I have an astigmatism, I only see the shadow with the right eye. That is a shadow, or that's not really true double vision. So I want you to know the difference. With the true diplopia, my program will 100% help you, but I also encourage you to see an additional private coach, vision coach, or work with a neuro-optometrist to do both. And again, we had many people in my program that did vision therapy alone, didn't get the results they wanted. We had Shauna, I think it's when you click through to the sign-up page, there's a video from her. We had another student who did vision therapy for a year, didn't really see all the results. And she did my program and it helped her. But I truly believe that the work they did before in vision therapy was kind of laying the foundation. And then we were able to resolve all this with the practices that I teach in Natural Clear Vision. So sometimes we have to do both. Yeah. So that's it. Thank you, YouTube, so much. Great questions you guys were asking. Thank you, Trisha, for playing along. And if you have any questions, if you watch this later, 100% post your questions. We will do our best to answer your questions. Oh, somebody says, okay, I don't know. We will address this. I don't know what's going on. Thank you so much, YouTube. We see you next week. Bye. Bye. Thank you, Trisha.